The galaxy had watched us with amusement. To the great empires, humanity was a spark barely lit, a fragile species from a single world, stumbling into the void with ships of steel and dreams too large for its frame. We were catalogued, measured, dismissed. Fragile, they called us, bones too brittle, lifespans too short, minds too impulsive. They saw us as children playing with matches in a storm. And for a time we believed them. We bowed, we traded, we hid behind treaties written in languages not our own. The elders of the Dominion spoke of us like curiosities. Let them play. They will tire. They will break. Yet among humanity there was always a whisper. On colony ships bound for barren moons, in the classrooms where children traced alien constellations, in the stories told by old spacers who remembered the first rockets. It was the whisper that we had always been underestimated. Because fire does not stay hidden. Fire does not ask for permission to burn. It waits, it gathers, and when the storm comes, it spreads. It began on Cindara Prime, a colony of 100,000, erased overnight by the Dominion of Thal. No warning, no negotiation. Just fire from the skies, reducing cities to shadows and voices to echoes. The galaxy expected us to mourn quietly, to vanish back into obscurity. Instead, we answered. On the ruined plains of Cindara, survivors clawed from the rubble, their lungs filled with ash, their eyes filled with rage. They lit torches against the darkness and sent a message across every human channel. We endure, we resist, we burn. That message was more than defiance. It was a call. Colonies at the edge of known space replayed it like scripture. Soldiers who had sworn never to fight again took up arms. Scientists abandoned laboratories to forge weapons from broken satellites. Mothers told their children not bedtime stories, but survival lessons. The empires laughed. How could fragile creatures wage war against giants? They would learn that fire spalling into dry grass can become wildfires no storm can contain. The war was not clean. We bled across the stars. Fleets burned, colonies shattered, worlds turned into graves. Yet in every defeat we grew sharper, stronger. The Dominion of Thal, once untouchable, felt the sting of resistance in places they thought secure. At Vera's halo, a single human cruiser rammed an enemy dreadnought, splitting it in two with the force of its death. Survivors said the explosion lit up the gas clouds like a second sun. And from that day, every pilot whispered the name of the ship, the Ember Crown, as a vow. At the Battle of Arden Reach, a handful of human pilots outmaneuvered an armada. Their courage ignited legends that spread faster than the flames. They flew so close to the enemy ships that their hulls were scorched black, but they did not falter. The Dominion mocked us at first, calling us moths chasing a flame. But moths do not set fire to forests. Humanity did. For the first time, the galaxy looked at us not as children, not as fragile things, but as fire itself, unpredictable, relentless, consuming. And fire, once awakened, does not kneel. Years passed. The Dominion staggered, their fleets crippled, their arrogance turned to ash. Humanity stood bloodied, scarred, yet unbroken. In the halls of the galactic conclave, silence fell as human delegates entered. No longer dismissed, no longer fragile. Even the oldest empires averted their eyes, for they had seen what we could become when pushed too far. Our envoys did not walk with pomp or arrogance. They walked with scars, with memories of ruined colonies and names of the fallen etched in their hearts. The galaxy saw not conquerors, but survivors, and that frightened them more than any weapon. We had not sought this war, but we carried it. And when the stars themselves tried to smother us, they found only embers that refused to die, embers that became ablaze. Generations later, children would gather around campfires on distant worlds, listening to stories of Cindara, of Arden Reach, of the fire humanity became. They would hear the words spoken in countless tongues, but always with the same truth. They called us fragile, the histories would say, but history itself would remember our answer. We were fire. We are fire. And fire never forgets.